Hello there, I'm your friendly neighborhood grow spire, here to guide you through the treacherous terrain of first dates. Let's navigate this exciting journey together and make every moment count. Picture this. A candlelit dinner, you're absolutely smitten, and then you spill spaghetti all over your date. Oh, the horror! But don't fret, we've all been there. The sweaty palms, the nervous laughter, the desperate hope that the date will go well, and the fear of making a fool of ourselves. It's a universal experience, that strange cocktail of excitement and dread that makes first dates such a unique adventure. But here's the thing, mistakes are bound to happen, and they often lead to the most memorable moments. So, let's embrace those blunders, learn from them, and hopefully avoid repeating them. Are you ready to dive into the first date Hall of Shame? Let's go! First up in our Hall of Shame, the oversharer. Picture this. You're on a date, there's a brief moment of silence, and suddenly you're blurting out the entire saga of how you accidentally adopted 5 cats. Yes, it's a cute story, but is it really first date material? The temptation to fill every silence with tales of your life can be strong, especially when nerves are dancing the jitterbug in your stomach. Yet, there's a fine line between sharing and turning your date into an impromptu episode of This Is Your Life. It's all about balance. Think of a tennis match. The conversation should be volleyed back and forth, not a one-sided monologue. Be interested in your date, ask questions, and listen. Yes, listen. That's a novel idea, isn't it? Remember, a date is not a therapy session. Less is more. So rein in the temptation to share every little detail about your life, and instead, let the conversation flow naturally. Next up, we have a classic, the X-Files. Now we all have baggage. It's part of being human. But your first date isn't the time to unpack, particularly when it comes to tales of past romances. Picture this. You're sitting at a candlelit table, and instead of focusing on the here and now, you decide to introduce your date to your previous partners. And not just verbally, oh no, you've brought along life-sized cardboard cutouts of each of them. It's like a bizarre reunion, only with more awkwardness and less joy. You might think you're being open and honest, but in reality, you're turning the spotlight away from the potential of a new connection and shining it directly onto old news. So remember, keep your exes in the past and your attention on the present. Avoid the ex talk unless you want your date to exit. Coming up next in the Hall of Shame, the gadget gluer. Now, we've all been there, lost in the mesmerizing glow of our phones, scrolling through the endless abyss of social media or responding to that urgent work email. But on a first date? That's a big no-no. Imagine, you're chatting away, sharing your fascinating story about rescuing a baby squirrel, and your date is engrossed ... in their phone screen. It's like trying to compete with a virtual army of kittens, memes, and viral videos. You don't stand a chance. So what's the solution? Well, instead of checking your phone, how about reading a novel at the table? Or better yet, bring along a pet parrot to squawk out your social media notifications, though we can't promise your date won't be a tad confused. Jokes aside, the key here is to be present, engage in conversation, show interest. Remember, your date is in front of you, not on your screen. Our next blunder is a common one, the interrogator. Imagine enjoying a lovely dinner when suddenly you find yourself under the spotlight, being bombarded with rapid-fire questions. Where do you see yourself exactly 60 days from now? They ask, completely ignoring your startled expression. If you were a temporary class teacher, which tax bracket would you belong to? Yes, it's as absurd as it sounds. Turning a casual date into an intense interrogation session can be as appealing as a root canal. It's about getting to know each other, not conducting an audit. Remember, a date isn't a job interview. There's no need to delve into life plans, past relationships, or financial stability on the first outing. Keep it light, fun, and casual. After all, you're there to enjoy each other's company, not to make your date feel like they're on the witness stand. So, keep the interrogation for the detective shows, not your date. Finally, we have the dress code disaster. Picture this. You're all set for a casual coffee shop rendezvous, and your date walks in wearing a tuxedo. Or perhaps you're at a swanky restaurant and your companion is sporting a swimsuit. These are clearly exaggerated scenarios, but they underscore the importance of dressing appropriately for the occasion. You see, deciding what to wear on a date isn't just about looking good. It's also about showing respect for your date, the venue, and the occasion. It's about showing that you've put thought into the date and want to make a good impression. So if you're unsure about what to wear, it's always better to err on the side of slightly overdressed rather than underdressed. And remember, your outfit should not only suit the occasion, but also make you feel comfortable and confident. Because in the end, it's not the clothes that make the date, but the person wearing them. Dress to impress, not to distress. Now, what if you stumble into one of these blunders? Fear not, we've got you covered. It's important to remember no one's perfect. Even the smoothest of us have slipped on the proverbial banana peel of dating mishaps. So if you find yourself oversharing about your love for antique spoons or accidentally whipping out a swimsuit at a steakhouse, don't panic. The key is to keep your cool. Use humor to diffuse the situation. A little self-deprecation can go a long way in showing your date that you can laugh at yourself. And if that doesn't work, honesty is your best friend. Acknowledge the blunder and steer the conversation back on track. Remember, the goal of a first date isn't to be perfect. It's to be genuine, considerate, and present. So even if you've made a blunder, don't let it derail your date. After all, it's these quirky moments that often make the best stories. Remember, being genuine, considerate, and present is more important than a flawless performance. Happy dating!
Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends.